So I've spent 31 years in this sport, and Kyle Busch has been part of my life for 25 years. Watching him come into the sport as a teenager, I think all of us would agree, full of talent, full of fire, didn't give a damn, was gonna push us, and I think we all love that spirit. And over those years, I think everything you saw on the track was one thing, but there was so much more to Kyle Busch that I think it's important for people maybe even new to the sport to understand. So folks will often ask me when I'm around, what's NASCAR like? And my best description of NASCAR is it's like a family reunion every week. And those of you who've gone to family reunions, you know that from time to time, families don't get along. But at the end of the day, everybody knows that they're all part of the family. If you look at our drivers, but just as equally when you think about family, that includes everybody in this room: media, team owners, drivers, sponsors. We're all part of that group when we think about that family reunion. And when you think about drivers in particular, you get to watch drivers come into the sport young, hungry. Hopefully you see them win, and you see them grow up, and you see them learn. You also get a chance when you're in some of our positions to watch drivers off the track. You get to see them maybe find a friend, a girlfriend, becomes a wife. They become fathers, they have kids, they start families. And you celebrate all that together because each and every weekend we are together and we're there to celebrate it. And that's what this sport is. And Kyle Busch lived just about every chapter of what you can do in NASCAR. What most people saw, Rowdy, he's fierce, he's competitive, always good for a great quote. My favorite interview Kyle Busch ever gave, and I wish I could do it every weekend, and I know most of you probably hated it, but everything's great. And he just kept saying it over and over and over again. That's Kyle. One of my favorite moments as well back in Texas, he would challenge NASCAR on some rules. Maybe spun out, maybe hit the wall, decided that we needed to take him to the care center, laid flat out on a pit cart, made fun of us. I was mad at the time, but I look back and that was damn funny, and that was Kyle. Always good to egg on the fans, played that villain, and was a winner. And the iconic bow, I think we're all gonna remember as well. So his stats speak for themselves, right? He's a two-time champion. He's won more National Series races than anyone in our history, and no doubt, first ballot Hall of Famer for sure. But what few people saw was what Kyle also did off the track, because he didn't talk about it a lot. And one of those examples I give to all of you is everybody knows, and I hope he doesn't mind me sharing this, but Daniel Suarez comes over from Mexico, learning English, learning how to race at the National Series level, struggling. Received a call every week from Kyle Busch. Never talked about it, just how do I make you better? How do I keep things going? Kyle Busch started a truck series team that we all know is hugely successful, and that's wins on the racetrack. But what people new to the sport don't know is if you go up and down pit road on Sunday, you're gonna see a lot of people that came through that. What you're also gonna see is a lot of people behind the wheel on Sunday who came through that. He gave people a chance. He started the Bundle of Joy Foundation with Samantha because he knew how difficult it was to start a family, and he wanted to spread that message, and yet had time to be a philanthropist off the track. I think we all saw, right, when he won last week at Dover, the quote from Victory Lane, it's tough to watch, right? It's telling. But what I look back on is a text from Kyle Tuesday, as only Kyle could do, and I keep looking at it. And he said, hey man, what do you think about an over 40 rule to be able to compete in all the Truck Series races next year? And I said, we put that rule in place because you were winning so much. But when we looked about it and we had a meeting Wednesday internal, and we said, well, damn, that's actually good. We need Kyle in the Truck Series. And it was twofold, because he knew he could help the series, but I think one day had a dream to race against his son in a National Series event. And that was Kyle, always thinking about the sport and going forward. So, I want to recognize a few folks we're obviously thinking about as an industry, and first and foremost, everyone at Richard Childress Racing, Judy and Richard, Mike and Allie Verlander. Mike, I don't know how he's dealing. He working with Kyle through the Truck Series, working at RCR, a great human being, and our thoughts are certainly with them, but all of the team back at the shop, those who are working on engineering, the crew members, who put those cars together each and every week. Those guys lost a teammate, and that's not lost on us that we're thinking about all of them.